Why did Iran was attacked? Why was Iran attacked? Why Israel targeted nuclear facilities? Prime Minister Netanyahu said that the strikes were done to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's survival. Because he said the Iran's nuclear facilities can produce 9 weapons. He said if not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon within few months. In recent months, Iran has taken steps to weaponize enriched uranium. The strikes will degrade Iran's nuclear and missile capabilities. So the issue is, how did Israel attack Iran? Over 200 Israeli fighter jets were used. More than 330 bombs were dropped. And 100 targets were struck. Let me introduce my panel. This whole entire discussion has been divided into 4 parts. So this is the first part. Major Dan Pfefferman, Israel Defense Forces and Executive Director Sharaka, live from Israel. Ambassador Prabhu Dayal and Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni. 3 of you join me on my show, sir. So the format is very simple. Why did Israel attack Iran? That's the first part. How did they attack them? The second part of the discussion is, where did they attack them? And what is the significance of Natanz? The third part would be Iran's counter-response, sir. And the fourth part is the history of Israel eliminating those who have been part and parcel of nuclear programs in enemy countries. So let me straight away go to Major Dan Pfefferman, who joins me from Israel. How are you? Good to have you back on my show after a long time, Dan. Your opening comments.
Good to see you too.
Your opening comments.
Sure, and let me please express also my condolences to the people of your country over the plane crash in which so many people were injured. I couldn't quite hear your question in the recording. Can you repeat it?
I said, Dan, your opening comments, why did it become so important for Israel to attack nuclear facilities, knowing very well that, this can be completely out of control now?
Of course. Israel has long expressed its interest, and I think it speaks for much of the international community, certainly the United States and the Western powers, in preventing Iran, which is the engine, the wallet, the armory of radicalism and terrorism and proxies in the region. Iran has been attacking Israel through its proxies for the last 600 days on a 7-front war. And Iran has been espousing radical anti-Israel, anti-America, anti-West, not just sentiment in words, but has been behind an array and an army of proxies all over the region, all over the world, and behind some of the world's deadliest terrorist attacks. And so Israel has a clear interest in seeing and preventing that Iran does not achieve a nuclear weapon. The timing of this, of course, is much more complicated. And if you want, we can expand, but there are essentially 4 windows or 4 timelines that coalesced into the timing that we now have of this attack. It became clear that Iran does not want to cooperate with the international community to halt its program in exchange for sanctions relief and re-entrance in good graces into the arms of the international community. And I believe Israel, as it did with Syria, as it did with Iraq, and their nuclear programs, did the world ultimately a very big favor, despite the short-term turmoil that it causes here. But I'll remind the viewers, Iran has been attacking Israel nonstop for the last 600 days on 7 different fronts, and Israel has finally returned that strike directly to the head of the Hydra and not to its various tentacles.
Okay. Ambassador Dayal, your opening comments? Was this attack inevitable?
Well, let me tell you first that I had served as deputy to the Indian ambassador in Iran in the early 1990s. And I had observed how it was becoming an existential threat to Israel. All the time in Iran, slogans used to be chanted at various demonstrations, death to Israel. This is what the popular sentiment in Iran was trying to become, military rule and the rule of the mullahs was gearing up the country for conflict with Iran. So it was becoming an existentialist threat to Israel. And for a long time, Israel was keen to remove this existentialist threat. Uh, and not only Iran, but there were a number of forces which had been developed around Israel, which were threatening the very existence of that country. For instance, the Hezbollah, the Hamas, the Houthis, all these were proxies of Iran, and Iran had funded them, armed them, trained them, because it wanted to use them against Israel. And in the recent Hamas Israel conflict, we've all seen how all these proxies of Iran were very much in action, and they were themselves directly trying to target Israel. So Israel felt that there was a great need to strike at the capabilities of Iran